I'm trying desperately to remember the set. But I do.
You do? You do?
I remember
like, it was very, sometimes it was kind of like melancholic.
Yeah, it was just slow, it was all quite slow. Yeah, I remember this.
You remember?
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about kind of like that kind of like atmospheric like vibe or that kind of like...
I mean, I didn't really think much about it, I just did it. And I think one of the things guiding that mix was I had a friend named Barry Lederer, who was one of the earliest disco DJs in New York, and he died. And I used to get records from him. So I sort of did it as a little bit of, like, I even think, I'm not sure, but I thought I might have named it something like Barry's Apartment, or maybe I said something because they asked me something about it, to write something about it. If we're thinking of the same mix, but I don't do too many, so we probably are. And that one is, I think it was mostly informed by, obviously, like, I wanted to do something kind of slow and like, but I think it was informed by thinking of the like going to his apartment, listening to records, and the records I used to get there. Because like, yeah, Transfer Station Blue, which is this like Klaus Schultz sort of soundtrack thing, I got there, and Logic System, or this Japanese thing, I got there. So I think it was a lot of the records came from his place. So maybe that was it. But then it was just fun to. I think I just started with a tempo and. They let me do whatever I wanted. Like I asked if I could just do like electronic music, slow thing, and they said yes. So it was fun not having to think of like.
It's good that you talked to me about how you got all that music, because I mean I don't get the track list, for example, no? And I am very interested in this kind of like approach that you have to use towards the music that you choose. That it's very atemporal, and you try to search music that doesn't get old or probably age very like age in a very.
Well, some of it ages terribly, but I like it.
I mean you still know that it was music made in the 1980s, for example, but it's not something that that's something that probably I could just play right now because it's just still living. So probably. Yeah,
I mean right now in 5 years maybe it sounds really dated, but yeah, I mean. I just try and, I don't know, I feel like good music, for me, it doesn't matter when it's from, and if it starts sounding dated, that doesn't bother me, because it's sounding dated to other people. For me, it only bothers me if it starts sounding dated to me and I become sick of it.
Okay.
Like, if it fits into something contemporary, if it's sort of comfortable in the contemporary atmosphere of music, it's a coincidence. Like, I'm happy because then people won't say this is horrible and stop listening.
Exactly.
But
it's good that you bring up where do you take your music out from. For example, like I'm very fond of the pop classic series and all these kind of like things that you present to us, and how you also recognize that you make this like citations toward like themes that DJ Harvey already used in some of his compilations, but you already you use them as well. But I mean, and that's the way that I have hold of that kind of music, So I also do my research, but I wanted to just like know a little bit more about like your kind of like research, right?
You mean how I find music?
For example, you told me about like swapping around.
I mean, the way I find music is like going like that. I mean, it's literally just listening, and then friends, obviously, and then the normal way that everyone else does, like hear something on a mix or from a DJ or on the internet. But now it's coming back to me as you talk about this, because there were songs on that mix. It's so funny to even just talk about this mix, because it wasn't a big thing. It was just this one thing
I did.
For
me, it's like a go-to it.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. Thanks. Well, I remember now saying that, like, as I said, they wanted me to write something, and I think I said that DJ Harvey, sort of, some of these were his songs, kind of like from Sarcastic Disco, which is a famous mix. I mean, famous among like record nerds, But I remember it was almost like I didn't discover it from Harvey.
Okay.
I discovered it from Barry.
Okay.
Harvey's an amazing DJ.
I'm really like.
Yeah, but I remember listening to Sarcastic Disco. We were in Japan, and I actually hadn't heard it yet, even though it was quite old at that point. And I remember the Logic System song came on, and I was like, "Fuck," because I can't.
It already came out.
Well, it's just like this is like everyone's gonna say this because Harvey has this cult around him, So I'm thinking everyone's just gonna think I'm playing a Harvey record now. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I prefer, obviously if you're a DJ, you have a little bit of that wanting to present things that are new to people. And I mean, I'd like to say it's something else, but it's ego. It's definitely ego. I mean,
it goes with an ego.
It goes with an ego. I mean, not necessarily a bad attitude, but I'm saying I feel like it's the pleasure of, it's like a good restaurant, you know? It feels good to introduce something to someone, a favorite restaurant or something. You have nothing to do with what's happening in the kitchen, but you're happy that you introduced it to your friend, you know? So I didn't make any of the music, but I like the idea that it was like, oh, someone didn't think to use this in the mix yet. So when I heard Harvey doing it, I was like, oh, fuck. But I didn't want to not use it just because he did. Like, it's still amazing music, even if everyone's playing it on the street. I mean, I love Madonna records. I love the Jelly Bean records that he produced for Madonna. Like, everybody, those records are great, and millions and billions of people know this stuff, you know? It's like the whole world. I love Michael Jackson records.
I love Michael Jackson.
Yeah, so it's like, I feel like good music's good music. You can't stop playing it because too many people like it.
That's a good thing. That's
how I thought when I was 13. If too many people liked it, I'd stop playing it. So the one good thing about getting old is you realize you just, if it's good, it's good. Don't worry about what other people are doing.
That's a good thing. Yeah. I like the metaphors that you use to like describing like music. But I was like the restaurant one, and I was reading a couple of others. Just I don't know, they're good metaphors. But
I think I probably only use the restaurant.
No, by now
all I talk about is food, basically. So
no, but there was this, like for example, you were talking about like, you know, I consider yourself to be in this position, like, you know, in this step. There's like generational kind of like distances between what happened really, you know, this disco era and what I'm doing right here, right now. Like, this is more of a personal question, probably, to just like try to sort out what's my responsibility or probably my position as a DJ right now. Because then, you know, you're just like escalating this kind of like, you find music over here, you present that to me as well, and then I'm over here right now in this kind of like digital era, kind of like fucked upness, where you know, like 2 years ago probably I was really like non-secure about being a digital DJ, because over here in Mexico, for example, I don't have this like record culture, like approach to records. I don't have the money to just like go and order. Probably a little bit more right now, but not. So it's just like, okay, like what's my position? What do I need to do right now? Like, you know, like it's not only about just going and play records. It's just about like a little bit more in depth, you know, like, you know, creatively. And I just know why would you think that we could just do right now? I don't know. I cannot present a little bit more or a little bit less, but it's just I don't know. It's just probably.
I'm like.
What can we do like right now? I mean, I understand.
I'm just trying to understand sort of what you're asking.
Let me just like try to figure it out a little bit better. Like, you're presenting this to us. You're in another position. You know, you're very like well stable in this. You know, because of your case, your music, your productions, the work you have around. But not produce. So not as a producer, because as a producer it's completely different. But as a DJ, like DJ-wise, what can we do right now? Because everything is like from the public domain. It's very democratized.
Yeah, I mean,
how can you do it? You know, like how can you?
I don't know. I mean, like
it's difficult.
Everyone can get everything now. But I mean, that's good and bad. I mean, it only bothers me when people don't respect music. Like, it only bothers me when people collect music like a scavenger hunt, and they just want the newest thing or the trendiest thing, and they don't even listen. I have a little sister. Like, my family's very broken up.
I read that.
And so I have this very young sister who consumes music so differently than the way I did. She's 17 now, and you know, I have an older brother who's 48. So the way he consumes music and the way I consume music and the way my little sister do, it's just totally different. And I think it bothers me only because I'm just, you know, it's like war stories. You think of like the good old days, and I think it used to be more of a struggle, and you would value
an ethical kind of like
an ethical thing.
No, not necessarily.
I mean, how ethical is it paying the salaries of major label record executives? I mean, a lot of times the artists got no money at all. I mean, I don't know, it's a long and boring conversation talking about the ethics of it, because since I have a record label and since I'm a musician, I have my own thoughts about it. But as far as DJing, you know, I just think you feel honesty. I mean, like, I don't want to talk in too much of a hippie, artsy-fartsy way, but I feel like if someone's passionate about something, like, it really does come across. Like, it's like, I don't really believe in all these metaphysical, super spiritual things, but the honesty thing, I think, is very reliable. You can tell when someone's faking or not. And so I think if you're honest about it, and you really love your music, and when you DJ, you really want to share it with people, and you're careful about your selection, it doesn't matter if you got it from the internet or if you spent years digging records up. It's sort of how you deliver. And you know, the other thing is, I don't think I'm that much of an authority. I mean, it's only because I've been doing it a long time, but to someone like Larry Heard or these original disco DJs or something, I'm a young new kid.
Of course.
So I never am going to pretend that I discovered something. Even metro area, the only thing we did new with that was presenting it to people our age and younger. I mean, you listen to our records, the first records, I mean, I hope we did something new, but the influences were from 20 years before us. So we didn't...
No, of course. No, that I completely understand. That I completely understand.
Maybe we mixed it up in our own way and we put our own personality or stamp on it, but it's just the music that influenced us is much more important than what we did.
And then I was just like directing myself to the last question that has to do with Kelly Polar, for example, because I really believe that the albums that you released in the 2000s from Kelly Polar were like really, really very important, pieces for the sound. Even though, I mean, not for this new 2000, like it has a like strict kind of like line, or I mean, I recognize that it's kind of like a specific sound in the end. But I wanted to know what's coming up from Kelly Polar, for example, because I really believe that it really needs something like.
He's been working on an album forever.
Forever.
Yeah, and he has a record that I mixed, but he wants to redo some of the strings with Jeremy Greenspan from Junior Boys singing on it, which I actually think is great because I don't know, it's a good collaboration. Like, Kelly Polar is so in his own world, like, it's amazing how much he thinks about music, and it's just, I think it was sort of, I think maybe liberating for him to just do a song and have someone else sing on it. Yeah, but I love his music. It's challenging though, like, I feel like, I like the response to his music because I feel like people either really love it or really hate it, like really hate it. His voice can be difficult to listen to, you know? Like my own right now. I'm annoying myself listening to myself talk too much, but he has a very distinct voice, and I think
it's probably his vocal approach. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just, I think people either love it or hate it. So it was nice for me hearing something else combined with his music. So we hope the new album will come. He's collaborated with quite a few people for the new one. A couple of female vocalists.
With Javiera Mena, for example.
Okay, so does she live here now?
No, she's coming.
Okay, so this is the Javiera I was talking about. Okay.
Javiera Mena.
Yeah, because he did something for her.
His production for the Javiera Mena.
Exactly.
It is a beautiful track.
Yeah.
Very good Latin American pop. Very good.
Yeah, so I think this is good. Like, his album's basically finished, and we're trying to just refine it into the more important songs that he likes. I think he's been working on it too long, and he's getting sick of it, so he just needs to start fresh, do a couple new songs.
That's actually good. I think that's it for now.
Okay.
At least. Thank you very much.
Thank you.